Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Movie Files. Elliot back again with a brand new early movie review, or I shouldn't say early because this film actually premiered at Sundance last year, but a new movie review for a film coming to theaters on June 30th, and it's the new A24 biographical comedy drama by the name of Zola. I am so excited to be talking about this movie and letting you all know my pros, my cons, and let you know if it's worth checking out, all in this spoiler-free review. But before we break into it, make sure you're following me on all my other social media accounts. If you all are new to the channel, welcome to the community. Consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell. That way you can get the alert for when I drop new content. If you all enjoyed this review, give it a thumbs up, share the video. It helps out the channel a lot, but I also appreciate the support. And in the comments below, we got to talk about this film. Whether you saw it last year at Sundance or if you saw it at the theater, let's talk about Zola, your pros, your cons. What was some of your favorite moments, your favorite characters, your overall thoughts? Let's talk about it because this is a must talk about film of 2021 so far for me in the best way possible. We're going to break it all down here in this review, but again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. So for me, Zola, so for you all that do not know, this is a biographical film, so it is based on somewhat true events. I'm going to leave the Twitter link in regards to how this all started. I'm going to put it on the page now, but essentially this movie follows a 148 Twitter thread from Zola, essentially going over how she met a sex worker who invited her to make some money in Florida. And I'm just going to leave it at that because I'm going to just start with the positives now. One of the things I loved about this film was expect the unexpected, especially, A24. You can always expect something that you don't expect to see in this film. And I would say the element of surprise in this film really kind of kept me interested. Every act of the film, it gets crazier, it gets more bizarre, and so entertaining. And this film it's kind of an amalgamation for me. It reminded me a little bit of another couple A24 films. Number one, Spring Breakers comes to mind. The Florida Project comes to mind. And this is one of those films for me where it's categorized as a biographical comedy drama, but it's almost kind of genreless because you can also see a little bit of black comedy. You can see some horror in a little bit of what's going on in this film. So I just kind of love how there are just so many different kind of genres. There's no sci-fi or anything like that, but it's just so fun to discover something that is based on a Twitter thread, which is a just testament to speak to you can make a movie about anything as long as it's entertaining and can bring people in. So I love how we were able to dive into these different genres and just have this crazy, bizarre, outrageous story. And again, if you don't know the story, don't read the Twitter thread, don't watch the trailers, just take my word for it, go into this blind, and you will not be disappointed. But let's get into these performances, starting off with our lead of the film, Taylour Paige, who plays Zola. Now, I only know Taylour from Ma Rainey's Black Bottom last year. She had a really small role, but something that was memorable. But this is the role that will make me remember her and make me excited to see what she does next because she plays Zola, this young girl who is a stripper, who seems to be just a really, keeps to herself, just making money and just living her best life. And she comes across Stephanie, played by Riley Keough, who we'll talk about here in a second, and she invites her on this trip. And Zola, man, she sees it all. And the thing I love about her is even though Stephanie does her wrong a lot in this film, she's still a nice, caring, giving person, wants to make sure that Stephanie's okay. She's trying to help her to get out of the situation that they find themselves in. But I thought that Taylour Paige, again, this is the type of role, and I love when A24 does, is they introduce me to these wonderful actresses. And again, I knew her from Ma Rainey's, but this is the film for me that makes me excited to see what she's going to do next because she had the charm, the charisma, the vibes, the swag, great screen presence. I thought that Taylour as Zola was great in this movie, and I can't wait to see again what she's going to do next in her career. But someone that I've been paying attention to for a very long time, the person that plays Stephanie, Riley Keough. She is one of my favorite actors, up-and-coming actors in Hollywood. She's been working for quite a few years, but the first time I saw her was in Mad Max Fury Road, one of my favorite films of all time. And then just seeing her kind of pop into these kind of smaller, independent A24 films. It Comes at Night. We had The Lodge last year. We also had The Devil All the Time that she was great in. And also, it's funny because if you guys ever watch, I believe it was on Starz, The Girlfriend Experience, there's a little bit of comparison between that show and who she plays in this movie. And her as Stephanie, she is ridiculous. She is ratchet. She's ghetto as all hell. I love the accent she kind of puts on to kind of embrace that ratchetness, but she gets Taylor's character Zola in some wild stuff. Again, I don't want to give too much away, but again, she just says, hey girl, let's make some money and go to Florida. We're gonna dance and meet some new people. But again, it's not exactly what she pitched to Zola, but I thought that Riley was great. Again, this just shows me why she's such a great actress. She's so versatile. She can be in horror, she can be in comedy, she can do both. She's great in this movie. You hate to love this character because she was really great, and their chemistry between those two, even when things kind of go off the rails, they're great together, and I thought they were fantastic. But I also want to shout out the other supporting characters. Nicholas Braun, who plays Derek, who is Stephanie's boyfriend, who's just kind of dragged along, and literally Nicholas, he's such a great actor to me as far as in the comedy realm, because he kind of brings the black comedy, the dark comedy in this film, and kind of just actually kind of flat out comedy bits in this movie. If you guys watch Succession, he plays Greg, and there's a lot of Greg-isms in this role as Derek. He has one of the funniest scenes kind of towards the back half of he's funny throughout the film, but there's a scene towards the end of the movie that just had me dying laughing. I thought that he was great. But, I mentioned the MVPs are obviously Zola and Stephanie, but I said it every time I talk about a film or show he's in. Colman Domingo, we need more of him in movies and shows. He's one of my favorites in Hollywood. He's such a great actor. He does stage plays. He's a writer. He's a director. He does everything. He is so great in this movie. He plays a character by the name of X, who is the roommate of Stephanie. And listen, when I tell you he had a couple scenes that had me dying laughing that I had to replay several times because I missed some of the dialogue because I was laughing so much. If you've seen the film, and once you've seen the film, that voice, that Wakandan Nigerian voice that comes out the first time, and later on the film, you got to get in the car. Listen, man, he was great in this film. He's the menacing character with a little bit of satire, a little bit of jokiness to him, but he is a really welcome character in this film. So the cast is great. I really enjoyed the unexpected nature of the film. Again, a film based on 148 Twitter thread just still kind of blows my mind, but I want to give a quick shout out to the director's film, Janicza Bravo, who I've only known her work for TV stuff. She did an episode of Atlanta. She did an episode of Them on Amazon, and I'm just still so impressed by what she was able to bring to life 148 Twitter thread and make it a 125-minute film that was entertaining, that was wacky, that was bizarre, and she has flair in her direction. She has a really good use of camera motion. She has personality to this film, so I really enjoyed, again, what the actors bring to the table, but they have to listen to their captain, and I thought their captain, Janicza Bravo, did a great job in direction share. So direction was good, the comedy's there, the serious nature of the situation is there. There are some, seriously, one of the funniest movies I've seen so far this year, so I thought that the film worked on so many levels, but I do have some criticisms. Something that comes to mind is, and it's more so in the second half of the film, again, it's really well paced, but there's a couple scenes that felt a bit repetitive. In particularly, we see Stephanie doing something over and over, and again, it shows like the scary nature of what she does per profession, but I wish we could have maybe transitioned to some other moments or maybe kind of get into another scene, but there are some moments of repetitiveness, and also, and this I think is purposeful, there's a sense of disjointment within how the story is being told. We have this narrative being told by Taylour Paige character Zola, and the accounts like how she saw how the 48 hours went, and there's a moment where we get the perspective from Stephanie, which was hilarious, by the way, but it would have been interesting to see throughout the film maybe Zola's perspective and Stephanie's perspective of the same situation. I wish we would have gotten that maybe a couple more times in the film. And then last but not least, as far as criticism, this is based on a true story. Again, this is based on Zola, how she perceived what went down in the 48 hours. And again, Stephanie has her own perspective of how it went. But I thought the ending was a little bit abrupt. I wish it would, again, this is true story, right? So you got to stay true to the story, but I wish they would have maybe went a little bit more. They would have used that kind of movie creative liberties route where they maybe would have added a little bit more flair to the ending. So it's not that I hated the ending. I just wish that it was a little bit more, a little more fleshed out and a little bit more kind of a wow factor as far as how they end this incredibly wild and crazy bizarre story. So honestly, those are my only criticisms that I have that I could think of. So before I give you all my overall thoughts, give you my score, and let you know if it's worth checking out when it comes to theaters June 30th, make sure if you haven't already to give this video a thumbs up, share the video, leave your thoughts in the comments, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the bell, that way you don't miss any of my other content. With all that being said, overall, Zola, it's dark, it's funny, and it is unexpected, and it is entertaining as all hell. Some really great performances. Seriously, This is one of the funniest movies I've seen this year. It also has some really serious moments. Again, it shows you can't trust everyone you meet online. So with that being said, I'm going to give Zola a 4 out of 5. And this is something I recommend you all check out if you have the opportunity to see it in theaters June 30th, because this is such a perfect film to see with your friends, to see with a crowd full of people, because there are some serious moments where you're sitting there like, what the hell is going to happen next, in the best way possible. So that's my thoughts on the film. I learned a couple things from this movie. Number one, you can make a movie out of anything as long as it's entertaining and insane. And also, again, don't trust people online. Be safe out there. Make sure you keep your time, preserve your time. Don't waste your energy and time on people that just don't have the same kind of path that you're walking on in your life. So I'll end it on that note. With all that being said, again, let me know your thoughts on the film once you've seen it. But as always, make sure to like the video, share the video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. That way you don't miss any of my other future movie reviews, TV reviews, and live streams. Hope you all are having a great day. Hope you enjoyed this review, and we'll see you in the next video.